Peace. That's what we're talking about this week, Sean. So Sean, you know I love to be a peacemaker. So what can you share with me more about peace?
So I think we often have a false idea about what peace really is. We think peace comes when there's no conflict. We think peace comes when our test at school is over. We think peace comes when everybody in our family is getting along with each other and life is all, puppy dogs and roses. That's not really peace. That's relief. They're two different things. So peace is not the absence of conflict. And it's not the absence of stress or the absence of uncertainty. Peace is actually the presence of something, and that something is Christ, who is present in the midst of all that other stuff. And so we lose peace when we think about all the negative stuff going on in our lives, and we believe that peace comes when those negative things are over. But that's not really true. That means peace comes and goes like the wind. And so true peace, biblical peace, isn't fleeting. It's always constant. We're always going to have negative and frustrating things in life that threaten our peace. We're not always going to get along with our siblings or our friends. But Paul tells us 3 things we need to do in order to maintain our peace. First, he says, rejoice in the Lord always. This means we need to find something to be grateful for every single day. Then he tells us to pray about everything. And so prayer is turning our frustrations over to God, and in exchange, God gives us his peace, which is a pretty cool deal. And third, he tells us to think differently. So fix our mind on the things of God, not the conflict and chaos of the world. He talks about fixing our mind on things that are true, not false, things that are noble, not dishonoring, things that are right, not wrong, things that are pure and not impure.
That's good. There's another definition that I like to share with kids, and that's this. Peace is caring more about each other than winning an argument. And I know we talked about, it's not all, you don't always get along.
Right.
So my question, kids, though, is do you help keep peace in your family? Do you ever fight with your siblings? Or do you stress over things that don't seem fair? Do you worry about things that you can't control and then get grumpy about that? I know sometimes I do.
Never.
Sometimes. But when I set my eyes on things that I can't control, or I just set my eyes on things that are just really not that important, I lose peace in my life. But when I focus on Jesus, guess what? I have peace. And you know what? When I let go of what's fair, or when I walk away from a potential argument or a disagreement, then I'm proving that I care more about others. And that's when I find peace in my life.
Right. And so all of that oftentimes follows too what Paul talks about in chapter 2 on humility. And so these things work together. So God made peace with us when he sent his son Jesus to pay the price for our sin. Was that fair? Not at all. Jesus had never done anything wrong, but he proved how much he loves us and cares for us. And because of that, we can have peace. We can have peace with others because God made peace with us. He isn't mad at us because we sin and mess up. He made peace with us by forgiving our sins, and he wants the very best for us. So, who do you need to make peace with this week? How can you humble yourself and make peace with somebody this week? Will you catch yourself from saying, hey, that's not fair. Let's just eliminate that from our vocabulary. Will you walk away from an argument this week? That's an exercise in humility, which brings peace.
And I bet when you do that, and when you remember that Jesus is the only way to have true peace in your life, no matter what your circumstances are, that's going to be worth more than anything in your everyday life.
So we are here at Lakota West Freshman School, and back in 1988, this was not Lakota West Freshman School. This was actually Lakota High. There was no East, there was no West at the time. It was just Lakota High School. Right. And so at that point, after Beckett Ridge, this is where the church decided to meet, in the gym. So they had to carry everything in and out every single week.
Yeah, and one of the things that they carried out was a book called a hymnal. And kids, you may not know what that is. Logan, do you even know what that is?
I do, yes. My grandparents still use it at their church.
Okay. All right, now you're really making me feel old.
Sorry.
But I grew up using hymnals, and so kids, what that was, this is a book that the worship leader would say, turn to page 302, and you would turn to that page, and then that's the song that you would sing, and you would sing that together. And we didn't have video screens or projectors, and so when they started here, that's what they used. They used hymnals. I also had to carry in things like the keyboard, they carried in the pack and plays, they carried in all the supplies they would use for the kids. Each and every week they carried in, and it was a lot of work, and there was no air conditioning in this building, so it was super hot in the summer.
Yeah, so they were here for about a year, and then Ridge Junior School opened up, and so the church actually got the opportunity to go over to Ridge Junior High, which is pretty cool. And at that time, it actually wasn't even called Centerpoint, right? It was
Right.
Lakota Christian Church, and so Lakota Christian Church moved over to Ridge, and they had AC there, which was a lot nicer than
Nice.
having no AC.
Nice.
But they still had a lot of logistical things to take care of, getting things in and out every single week, and so that was difficult. But there was a whole lot of work going on behind the scenes to hopefully move Lakota Christian Church to the next location, which is where we're going to pick it up next week. And so we hope you guys join us, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.